Hi everyone and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from southern Tasmania. Welcome to my video today. Today I'm going to be featuring this little card using the Coming Home bundle, which is new to customers in the current August to December mini catalogue, which we used to call the holiday catalogue. It's got a lot of Christmas, Halloween, that sort of Thanksgiving, that sort of stuff in it, which is really nice for this time of year. Lots of new ideas and designs. This little card here, I don't know if you can see in the light, it has a lovely texture to the backing there, which is I did that through a embossing folder, which I'll show you soon. I usually prepare a lot more for these cards when I do my videos, but I haven't actually prepared any of the cardstock for this one yet. I thought I'd just give it a bit of a go, see how effective I can be in actually cutting the cardstock while I've got you all with me. So anyway, we might make a start. As I say, this is the Coming Home bundle, and it also comes with some dies, which I'll show you in a moment, to cut out these cute little houses. Alright, so we'll get underway. I'll bring in my trimmer. Here's my wonderful Stampin' Up trimmer. Make sure I get that into the screen, okay. So I'm going to start with a Pretty Peacock card base. This is Pretty Peacock. It was actually one of our new colours last season, but it's still current and it's really, really pretty. Got my usual card bases are 5 3/4 inches. I don't know how I'm going to go with this. I'm all at back to front. 5 3/4 inches by... No, sorry. I knew this was going to be 5 3/4 inches by 4 1/8 inch card base, which means I basically want that much of a A4, so it's basically 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4, and I just score it at 4 1/8. There we go, just like that. So that's the card base, and just pop that aside for a moment. Then I'm going to have a layer of cherry cobbler. So I actually want 2 pieces of cherry cobbler because I've also got a layer inside as well. And so I want that to be 4 inches by 5 and... just seeing if this piece is actually big enough. 4 inches by 5 5/8. I might have to come at it this way. I might make it 4 inches that way, and I'll get 2 out of this length. Just coming back 1/8 inch from the size of our original card base. Here we are. 1 and 2. Be careful there, Julianne. Then I also want 2 pieces of Whisper White, one for stamping at the front and one for our inside. So then again, I'm going to come back another 1/8 inch. So it's going to be 3 7/8 by, 5 1/2. After a while, you get so used to doing these layers, you don't even think about it. So, and it becomes a bit hard to explain when you do these things on automatic. There we are. Okay. Pop that over there for the moment. So what we've got here, got our card base, 2 layers of cherry cobbler, so one for inside and one for outside, and 2 layers of Whisper White, another one for inside and one for outside. And this is the outside one that we're actually going to, I'm just checking that I've got that right. Yep, so that's the outside one we're going to be using now, so we'll keep that out. So this card that I've made today has a sort of a braid background, and the trouble is I can't find my brayers. I know they're all here somewhere, but I haven't been able to find them all day, so I'm going to have to be a bit naughty and use a non-Stampin' Up sponge for this part. So just if I could find my brayers, I'd be the happiest woman on earth, but I can't. So I prefer to use the Stampin' Up brayers, but I can't find them. So let's see. So what I'm actually going to do is going to sponge this with a mask. So it's sort of like a masked sponge. So basically I'll show you here. This one has this is Balmy Blue at the top. No, Seaside Spray. This is Seaside Spray at the top. And then I've put a mask on there so I can do that without. And then we've got Soft Sea Foam, Pear Pizzazz, and then Left White here. So each time I sponge, I will mask the areas that I don't want the colour, so that I just keep the colour in the areas that I want, if that makes sense. And to do that, I'm going to cut myself a little mask. And I'm going to use this die from the dies. So this is the die set that goes with our Coming Home bundle, and has all the dies to cut out our cute little houses and trees and cars, little car and a little wreath and all that. But it has these two sort of landscape ones. There's one here with all the trees on it, so it's got some trees in the distance. But one I want is actually just a straight slope. And this is the one I'm going to use to cut my little template, my little mask. I've got a piece of plain old photocopy paper there, nothing special about that. Nothing up my sleeves. And I'm going to cut it to about 6 inches wide. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 5 inches wide. And then I'm going to use the die and my die cutting machine to cut myself a little mask. So bear with me, I'm not bringing my die cutting machine in at this stage because it wobbles like there's no tomorrow. It makes everything wobble. So I'm just going to cut with that die my photocopying paper. Just like that. Oop. There's one bit and there's another bit. We're going to use both bits because eventually we do want to cover top and bottom of our image when we're doing the insides. Okay, so there we have that. I'm also going to get myself some masking tape because I want to be able to secure those masks down so that nothing wobbles around. So here's our piece of cardstock for stamping. So what we can see, I'm going to position our mask here. So this is our first layer with our Seaside Spray. Just grab some tiny bits of, if you think you can hold your paper and sponge at the same time, you don't need the masking tape. It's just that I need all the help I can get. So what I'm actually going to use, because I can't, as I say, can't find my brayers, is I'm going to use this little sponge thing here, which isn't too bad. But as I say, my brayers would be so much easier if I could find them. Okay, so I'm going to try and find my Seaside Foam ink here. Obviously, probably should have got myself a little bit organised before. So I found my Soft Sea Foam, found my Pear Pizzazz, and I found, here we go, my Seaside Spray. And all I'm going to do is, holding onto that quite firmly, is get some oil on my little sponge and sponge the background. As I say, this is not ideal. I just wish I could find my brayer, my rolling foam brayer, but this will do. Not bad for purpose. Now with this one you have to go over it a few times because you get those weird circular things, but you even them out with a bit of pressure. Just forgive the wobbling. Apologies if I'm making you seasick. It doesn't seem to be. Might need re-inking my ink pad. Cool, so that's our first colour. That's our beautiful sunny clear sky. So there you can see we've got a lovely sharp line there where we've got our mask has protected our cardstock. Okay, so the next layer is going to be further down, and I'm going to use this other side of the paper just so that I can have it clean. So this is going to be, this little next section is going to be our Pear Pizzazz, soft sea foam. I'll just secure it with my masking tape. There we go. And I'm going to have to put this one back in because I want to also protect our seaside foam from being covered over. So it's good that we've got our masking tape there. So I'm going to use a different foam head. I think it's this one. So now I'm going to use, this is soft sea foam, and again just sponging and forgive the wobbles. Now the reason I've used such thin paper here is because you get a nice clean line between your layers. If I'd used cardstock or something, there you are, it's moved. Move that back. If I'd used cardstock or something thicker than paper, I would have had trouble with those joins. They would have been thicker and exposed more white. Here we are. And again, forgive the wobbles. Everything wobbles in my craft room. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's carefully pick this up. Masking tape's wonderful because it shouldn't at least, bring off your paper. There we are. So that's our soft sea foam layer. The final layer is going to be Pear Pizzazz, and it's quite a dark colour. So again, I've flipped our paper around so I've got the nice sort of like hill that I'm after. And then again, I'm going to bring that one back in to protect our previous colours. There we are. So this time, Pear Pizzazz. Find the little sponge I was using last time. There we go. You move on me, don't you? As I say, I needed all the help I can get to keep those in place. I'm a bit backhanded now. Oh, apologies, you probably can't see that with my hand in the way. Plus I'm trying to avoid getting ink all over my hands. I was doing this card yesterday when I was preparing, and oh my goodness, ink everywhere. There we are. Ooh. Okay, I think that's telling me there's enough ink there. Okay, let's have a look and see how that's turned out as well. Yep, pretty good. Okay, so there we can get rid of our little templates now. We're finished with those, and we've got our little sponged background, which is quite good. We're happy with that. Okay, might just get some ink off my fingers so I don't spread it everywhere. Now, with the first card, I actually put it through the embossing folder at this stage, which I think I might not. I might wait for a second with this one. I might actually stamp the sentiment first, just because I got I didn't quite get the ink adhesion that I wanted out of that one, so I'm going to do it before I put it through the embossing folder. And I'm going to use the Season's Greetings sentiment from the Still Scenes stamp set, which is still available this year, which is great. Let's pop that on a block. ink it up. And then just pop that just in this bottom right hand corner. There we are. So now I'm going to pop this through the embossing folder that I used, which is the Subtle 3D embossing folder. It just gives your paper just a bit of an antique-y sort of linen look. It's nothing too, it's very subtle, nothing too in your face, but it just, yeah, makes it just a little bit more special. So I'm just going to pop this through my embossing machine. Just wait for 2 seconds. I won't bring it into shot as I mentioned. There we go. And we've got, that's really nice. I don't know if you can see that in this light. I think you probably can. Sort of some nice texture lines going up and down on that. Okay, so next part of the process is to bring in our stamp set. I'm going to stamp these sort of what do you call, nude trees, some bare trees here. Just going to sort of put some of those around on the hills. Just get a block. I'm just going to do it in black ink, because I don't want them all to look the same as well. I'm going to do some of them with the full trunk and then some of them with a part trunk, so they look like they're not quite as high or as tall as the others. He's a bit crooked. He's a bit fallen over, that one. Might be a bit windy where he is. And so the next couple, I'll just make them a little bit shorter, just get all the ink off that. And then just ink up the top half. So just in the ink. Just so they look a little bit gnarlier. Where do I want this one? There. There we are. I might do one more. I thought before when I made this card before that I probably could have done with another one up here. That's what I'm going to do. There we are. So we've got some bare trees in our landscape. Okay, so now I'm just going to do our little houses, which are really, really cute. Pop that aside to keep it safe. Just bring in a scrap of Whisper White, which is what I'll do our houses with. Sit myself down now. I was standing the whole time then. So what I want are 2 of these cute little houses. So just 2 of these. Okay, and one slightly larger one. Different block. There we go. And also one of the cute little wreaths for the front of our nice big house. So there are dies for all these, so there's no fussy cutting or cutting around things, which is good. I'll clean those off once I finish. We've got this cute little wreath here. Just there. He's really nice, so I'll colour him in as well. There we are. Okay, so that's the stamping. I'm just going to bring in my blends and colour these in quickly. Okay, to go with the nice blues and greens, I'm going to concentrate mostly on sort of very sort of yeah, similar colours. So I'm going to have the houses that are a mixture of light pretty peacock and dark pretty peacock, as well as cherry cobbler, and the windows are going to be light mint macaron. Plus I need some shaded spruce for our little wreath with a little bit of red for the berries of that, for the bow of that one. Okay, so let's get colouring. Now, if you live in Australia and don't have an active demonstrator, I'd be happy to be your demonstrator and help you out. I've got some new catalogues coming, so if you'd like to see the August to December mini catalogue, which we used to call the holiday catalogue, just drop me a message on my Facebook page and I'd be happy to send you one. Yes, that's if you don't have a demonstrator. If you do have a demonstrator, please get in touch with them and talk to them about these wonderful products. There we go. And I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm just over 1,000 subscribers, which is a real thrill, but there's always more welcome. Love to have as many subscribers as possible, and if you subscribe you won't miss out on the next video. Go. So when I'm colouring these, I like to stick to, don't like to introduce too many colours. I personally, that's my own opinion, I like to stick to a group of, you know, a few colours, just to keep some, I think it's just looks not so busy. I like to keep it clean, sort of looking uncluttered. I personally think that too many colours make everything a little bit busy, but that's me. Thankfully I'm not the end authority on that, so you just go with it, whatever you like. So this is the dark pretty peacock. Yeah, so I'm just doing the door there. What else am I doing? And the building, the front of this house. Good thing if you're watching the YouTube replay, you can actually just scroll through this. And you have my blessing to do so if you don't want to watch me colouring. Although some people say they find it quite therapeutic to watch people colour. So if you are enjoying that for therapeutic reasons, I'm very pleased. I do love colouring for that very reason. It's very relaxing. There we go. Nearly there. Okay, so I'll bring in my cherry cobbler, the roof of this one. It's getting a little bit dark now, hopefully it's not getting too dark to see. It's early evening here, so I thought I might push it a bit with the light. It's not too bad yet, I don't think. the light on in my craft room, but that tends to make some horrible shadows, so I tend to avoid it till the last minute. And we're nearly done, so you can probably guess where we've got to go from here anyway. Okay, so I don't know about this new approach to videos that I'm taking with this one, whether I'll continue just doing everything from scratch on air. This might tell me. There we go. And the light mint macaron in our windows. There we go. And our shaded spruce just for our little wreath. And the little red bow. There we are. So now I'm just going to pop all these through the die cutting machine. Our cute little dies. Hopefully, one just fell on the floor, so hopefully that's not the one I want. I've got that one. Got the wreath. Oh! And guess what? It was the one I needed that fell on the floor. Let's see if I can find it quickly. There it is. So that's the third one. So I'll just pop that through my die cutting machine again. Lining everything up. One more pass with the second little house. And we're done. Okay, so I might bring our little foreground little landscape back in. Okay, so, and we can position our little houses. So I'm going to pop one of them up here on the hill, and then the bigger one down here on the left hand side, and then our other one just up here, just in front of this tree. Here we go. So I'm just going to glue those on. Two and our little wreath, I'm just going to pop onto a dimensional, a little Christmas wreath. I assume that's what we call them in all countries. That's what we call them in Australia. Just on a little mini dimensional there, and then just onto the front of this house. There we are. Okay, so that's all on there. Really sweet. Really cute little houses that you'd like to live in. So we'll bring back our card. Here we are. We'll layer this up now. So we'll put the embossed, decorated Whisper White cardstock onto our cherry cobbler. And I think that cherry cobbler then brings out the cherry cobbler, the red in our houses really nicely. And then onto our pretty peacock card base. There we are. Just nice. And then on the inside, we've got the same layers again. So we've got a cherry cobbler one. So please, in the comments, if you have enjoyed this video, please let me know. If you'd like to see me go back to my previous ways of doing things where I had everything prepared and basically just assemble the card in the video, please say so as well. I'm not afraid of constructive criticism, but if you've enjoyed watching me cut the cardstock and do all the colouring, please say so as well. I know it was a bit easier for me, although I suppose there's more things that can go wrong. On the inside of this card, I'm going to put a couple of our little trees from the stamp set, which I've lost. It's always something. So I'm going to do one of the big trees. Just grab whatever block is handy. I'm not going to colour these in, I'm just going to leave them black and white, but you could colour them in if you wanted to. Just sort of bringing the theme from the outside to the inside, which is always good. Another block and a little tree. That's it. And then I'm also going to use, since this set doesn't have any sentiments, I'm going to use the sentiment from, we already used the season's greeting. I'm going to use this May, the timeless message of Christmas, fill your heart and home with joy today and always. So it's quite nice because it mentions home, and here we have some homes on the front of our card. So I think it's quite a nice sentiment to go with this particular card. There we go. Beautiful. That's lovely. Okay, so that's that card done. I hope you enjoyed that. It's really a nice technique with the sponging in the backgrounds with the masking, which is really good. It sort of gives a nice sort of a scene there. You could do it with any mask and any ink. It's just a really nice technique, and I do love the embossing folder, that 3D subtle 3D embossing folder that just gives everything that sort of linen sort of antique look. So that's my card for today. Hope you enjoyed it. As I said, if you don't have an active demonstrator and you'd like to talk to somebody about Stampin' Up, I'm here and available. Just drop me a message on my Facebook page or here in the comments of this video, and I will send you an email, or you can, yeah, I'll put the details, the contact details and everything in the description as well. So let me know, and I'm happy to help. But thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all next time.